Where's my wallet?
I ain't got it.
What is up, everybody? Mr. Slipcover Bullet Blake. I am back with another Blue review for the day, and it is for Vinegar Syndrome's release of Death Wish 2. This movie came out in 1982, was directed by Michael Winner, stars Charles Bronson, and has music by Led Zeppelin's Jimmy Page. I had seen this movie before, obviously. I think most people probably have seen these movies, especially if you're a Charles Bronson fan or like a revenge movie fan. Like, this one is, it's not my favorite in the franchise, and I think it's weird that Vinegar Syndrome released part 2, and, you know, like, it's okay, because this one's actually, this one, the storyline is basically like recycled from the first movie. Obviously, like, it's a rape revenge movie, so in fact, it happens to his daughter twice in this franchise, because it happens to his daughter in the first one. So spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the first movie, I mean, everyone knows the plot of these movies. So, and basically his daughter gets raped in the first one and his wife gets killed, and he goes out and just, you know, like, goes on a vendetta to kill all these fucking bad guys.
You believe in Jesus?
Yes, I do.
Well, you're gonna meet him.
Now, like, this movie takes that same premise, but it actually gives him, like, targets. Like, it has him go after the people who are responsible, and that is, like, a slight improvement to the storyline. Like, I don't think this movie's as good as the first one, but I do think that that storyline works a little better, like, as far as plot. But it's, like I said, it's just a rehash of the original movie.
We understand that the same sort of thing happened in New York City. We ran it down in our computer.
Yeah, that's right. Some muggers followed my wife and daughter home from the market. The police there got a very good description of the muggers, too. But it didn't do any good.
So, it is what it is, and I think most people have their own favorites in the franchise. I mean, I would really love if Vinegar Syndrome would release part 3, but I'll settle for part 2. This is probably the, like, highest, like, rated movie, or at least the most successful movie Vinegar Syndrome's ever released, because this movie was a huge fucking bona fide hit. Like, Charles Bronson is like an A-lister from the fucking 70s and 80s. Like, this movie was great. And it's obviously got the MGM label on there because, you know, they gotta be on top or whatever. I don't know. A couple of their releases have done that lately. But, yeah, and this one is in 4K.
Ooh, 4K.
I mean, honestly, if they're doing a 4K movie, it makes sense to do this one in 4K, I guess, because, like I said, it is pretty successful, and it is an action movie / revenge movie / crime movies, you know, but I don't need these 4Ks. Like, I think the VSUs are cool to do in 4K. They should have just made that their, like, 4K line. But I'll take this movie in 4K because this movie's cool. The picture does look really great. I gotta say, I really found the picture to be the best I've ever seen it. And, like, I haven't revisited this movie in probably 20 years, to be honest. I don't know if it's quite been that long, but it's been a long time since I binge watched the whole franchise. Well, except for part 5, I think. I don't think I've ever seen part 5. But, like I said, it's got all of the stuff you want in a revenge movie. Obviously, the incident happens, and the upset person goes after the fucking bad guys, and it's great. It's got everything you could need. There are some weird stretches in here, like, I don't understand why you would move from New York, the violent city of New York, to the violent city of LA, And like the whole movie, they have this overplaying on the radio of all the violence and like harassment and all that type of shit that's going on in the city. So it's like sort of like keeping your mind in focus with, oh, shit's real here. But yeah, that seemed like an odd choice to go from New York to LA, for me at least. I don't know, like, whatever. But when the cop, like, obviously he starts doing his vigilante shtick that he did in the first movie, and he goes after all these guys, and they're dying one by one, so the police somehow come to the conclusion that it's not just drug related, it's systematic, it's someone, oh, it's this guy from, didn't this happen in Chicago? I think they say Chicago, and he's like, no, it happened in New York.
Wasn't there a vigilante in Boston about 5 years ago?
New York.
New York, right. Get on to them, see how they handled it. It stopped there.
And it's like, oh no, they wouldn't have ever put those two together, because he was never charged. Like in the first movie, they never charged him.
We had him and we didn't prosecute.
A damn good reason. Street crime was down 50%. Muggers were afraid to go out on the streets.
Never mind that, Commissioner. We know we'd have a martyr on our hands if we brought him to trial. But the fact is, we let him go.
So that was a bit of a stretch. I get that they're tying the movies together, but that was just illogical as far as I'm concerned. Like, I get that they could have got there eventually, like, inevitably, but the way they did in the movie was just like, oh, and then they call them and they're like, oh, it's happening, the police in New York, and it's like, come on, man. But that, you can look past that, because the movie's genuinely good. So, I mean, realistically, I'd give this movie a, let's say a 7.5. So yeah, like a 7.5 out of 10. It's a solid movie. It's not like some mind-blowing like experience, but it's a good revenge flick, and like Charles Bronson's always great. So.
I came in this front door. There were two men standing there. There were at least two men back there. One of them hits me on the head, and I'm knocked unconscious.
Well, surely you saw one of them before you were attacked.
Hey, I told you, man, everything I know.
So that was good. Now, as far as special features go, this does have quite a few. And it does have, I did watch the uncut version. They do have the TV version included on here, at least on the Blu-ray disc. Either way, I didn't watch that. But it might be cool to watch. Maybe not. I don't know. I don't know how much. I mean, like, obviously they're going to cut out all the nudity and the graphic rape at the beginning of the movie, but if you want to watch that, I guess. It does have a special feature called Pass, which is with screenwriter David Engelbach. And it talks about how he was approached to write this screenplay for this movie, and he just immediately outright said, nah, I'm good, pass. So, and like he repeatedly did that until he finally accepted the offer to write it, because, you know, enough pressure from this guy. You're gonna eventually take it. If they offer you some money, they offer you some pressure, they give you this, oh, it's gonna be Death Wish 2, because originally it was called like Death Sentence or something, because they didn't have the rights, or I didn't really follow along with some of the stuff he was saying, but it was interesting to see that he was like goated into fucking writing this movie, and it turned out great. Like, the script was great, and they got Bronson on board, so they got Death Wish 2, and it was, like I said, a hit. So that was cool. There's another one called Working with Bronson, which is an interview with actor Robert F. Lyons, which was cool. It's very obvious how much they all, like, everyone on the set admired Bronson, and how he's not really what you expect, and like, I really enjoyed that. Dark Parts, which is an interview with actress Robin Sherwood, who plays his daughter in the movie, and man, she is a babe. To this day, she is gorgeous. She explains how she didn't ever see the first one beforehand, but she took the part and knew that it was supposed to be dark.
Just got some news about your daughter.
How is she?
Is this your daughter, Mr. Kersey? Mr. Kersey, is that Carol?
and she related to losing her own mom for the like emotional aspect of it. I liked it. Plus, she's, like I said, fucking gorgeous. Fights in the Theater, which is an interview with Todd Roberts, who is the son of the executive producer Bobby Roberts, and he talks about how there was fights in the theater when this movie came out because people were so into it. Like, I get it. It's pretty interesting. There's audio commentary on here with author and historian Paul Talbot. I didn't watch that. Theatrical trailer. And yeah, so those are the special features for it. I mean, like, obviously, most people know this movie, so I don't have to say it's worth buying. It's obviously worth getting. I don't know if 4K, like the 4K, I don't want to say gimmick, because I do appreciate some things in 4K, but these older movies, a lot of them don't need 4K. I don't know why they pump out more and more 4K every time, it seems like, because this one and another one was 4K for this month, and it's like, come on, do we really need it 4K? But that is Death Wish 2. The slipcover, I gotta say, is one of the worst slipcovers I've ever seen. I would have really loved to see like the Dude Designs do a slipcover for this, because I feel like he could have made Bronson just look epic as fuck on there. But I mean, instead of just the old poster, this is literally the poster that was on the DVD that we sold when I worked at FYE. And Bronson's loose again on the back. That's it. I don't know. I'm assuming that that's some oversight from MGM, but it seems like a misstep, at least to me. But otherwise, it's a good movie. It's a good pickup. And yeah, that is all I have for today. So if you like the video, give this video a thumbs up. If you like the movie, give it a thumbs up. Talk about it. Just talk about the movie. If you're a fan, if you don't like this one, if you like 3 more than 2, if you like 1 more than 4, if you like 5 more than... I don't think anyone likes 5 more than anyone. Like I said, that's the one I don't think I've seen. I think I started it and it was like, eh. But I'll revisit it eventually. But yeah, if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And until next time, have a good day.
Some guy pops up out of nowhere. He starts shooting, and you and your wife don't know what he looks like.
That guy saved our lives, damn it. Where the hell were you guys? Giving out parking tickets?